Right now, here tonight at 5 on WHAS 11 News, a Hardin County woman killed by her boyfriend just outside the Elizabethtown courthouse, where she planned to ask a judge for emergency protective order. The changes advocates are now calling for today to better protect victims of domestic abuse.
A leader who's fought for me and for so many others.
And she spoke on the national stage in Chicago. Now she's sitting down with WHAS 11. We're hearing from Kentucky native Hadley Duvall, sharing her story after speaking at the Democratic National Convention.
And ahead, a hot spot in Hardin County closed off over growing concerns. Everything people living in there need to know regarding the cleanliness of their water.
I can't imagine not having a choice. But today, that's the reality for many women and girls across the country.
Owensboro, Kentucky native and abortion rights advocate Hadley Duvall right there speaking last night at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. Duvall, a rape survivor, introduced Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear in primetime. Her speech and the governor's carried by every single network and across all social media. And then today in Chicago, before she left town, our team caught up with her for a one-on-one interview. WHAS 11 News is the only Kentucky station covering the Democratic National Convention and Andy Beshear's rise in the party. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Shay McAllister. Senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez spoke with the Kentucky native following that speech last night. Let's take a listen.
I mean, was there a moment on that stage yesterday where you really let it sink in, be like, I have a real opportunity here, unlike any I've had before?
It was the moment when I said survivor. I almost teared up a little bit. And I usually don't do that on stage or in the media. I kind of sat there and I soaked it in for a moment, and I was just like, all of that damage is going to change the world.
But it's got to be taxing on you, because now so many stories are riding on your shoulders. I mean, do you feel that kind of pressure, or do you just try not to let it show?
I feel the pressure, but then I think of what I used to feel and what I used to go through. And if little me can get through the 10 years that I got through, then I can get through carrying the women and the girls through society and through the hate, and hopefully get our reproductive freedom back.
Abortion rights were at the center of speeches from both Hadley Duvall and Governor Andy Beshear at the DNC. More of our coverage from Chicago coming up at 6. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
And if you'd like to watch the entire interview with Hadley, just head to the WHAS 11 YouTube page. We'll have it posted for you to view. We have much more from her coming up tonight at 6.
Well, today, Governor Andy Beshear and Senator J.D. Vance went head-to-head once again, this time on the topic of abortion. It all started this morning when Andy Beshear appeared on MSNBC.
J.D. Vance calls pregnancy resulting from rape inconvenient. Like, inconvenience is traffic. I mean, make him go through this.
Senator Vance quickly responding on social media, posting the clip, writing, "Why is Andy Beshear wishing that a member of my family would get raped?" End quote. He goes on to call Andy Beshear a, quote, a disgusting person. Earlier this afternoon, the governor appeared on MSNBC once again, and then he clarified his comments.
It's ridiculous, but it's also deflection. I mean, J.D. Vance knows that he and Donald Trump are so wrong on this issue, and so he's trying to make himself the victim.
The Trump-Vance campaign releasing a statement that reads in part, his comments are disgusting, vile, and should not be tolerated in American politics.
Back at the DNC, both Michelle and Barack Obama are scheduled to speak tonight. You can watch that live coverage right here with us on WHAS 11. Starting at 10, you can also watch for free on the WHAS 11 Plus app.
Well, Shay, I've got a bad update for you. The bat that was flying in our house for the last 24 hours Ann opened the doors last night and it flew right on out.
That's
We're
a bad
bat-free.
update? That sounds like a bat update. I thought you said a bad update.
The bat that was in the house flying around.
The weather was too good. He wanted to get outside.
He said, forget this. We'll try you guys again next week when that humidity jumps back up.
No more bet.
And I have a feeling we're going to have a watermelon update coming up in a little while.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
so
you got to
stay
hold
tuned.
on for that.
That's a tease.
Exactly.
That's a spoiler alert.
That's exactly right. All right, we have beautiful weather out there. Try to get outside. This is the coolest we've seen in over a couple months, since early June. 76 right now and 75 at Bowman Field, and a nice north breeze out there at around 10 to 20 miles per hour. Humidity low at around 40%. So just all good things happening across the area. As we look at the temperatures in the metro, 74 in PRP and Valley Station and Sellersburg, 75 in Shepherdsville, Linden 76, and most areas outside of town in the lower 70s. So room temperature air. We can crack open the windows and you can see that fresh air dropping right down from the Great Lakes. So things will remain quiet here for us. And actually in a couple of hours, right around sunset, we'll fall down to the 60s. So a nice crisp evening out there. Lows in the 50s. Might even see a couple areas touch the upper 40s out the door tomorrow morning. So maybe even a light jacket or a sweatshirt getting started. And then tomorrow afternoon, just as nice with 70s and sunshine. Good for you if you can head out to Slugger Field for the Bats game. First pitch, 6:35. Again, 70s for a couple hours into the game, but then dropping into the 60s right around sunset. We do have some heat on the way in the 7-day forecast. I'll show you how long the rain will hold off as well coming up.
Right now, calls for change after an Elizabethtown mother of two died in a shooting along with her own mother. It happened while she was walking into the courthouse seeking emergency protection from the man she dated. Erica Riley was 37 years old. Her death brought attention to the risks domestic violence survivors can face even as they're turning to the court system for help.
The man suspected of killing his girlfriend died in the hospital today after shooting himself in western Kentucky during a standoff with police. WHAS11's Ian Hardwitt is joining us now after talking with a Kentucky group leading a coalition against domestic violence. And Ian, what are they hoping will change after this, if anything?
Doug, Zero V ultimately hopes for societal and cultural change surrounding domestic violence, but they're advocating for specific changes in court procedure to keep people safe after that death. That's because of how court proceedings require both the accuser and the accused to appear in protective order hearings. The group says it's an unnecessary risk for people facing domestic abuse. A spokesperson told us their suggestions.
Staggering the times that the petitioners and the respondents arrive to the protective order hearings, providing security for petitioners at all times through the bailiffs, through the courthouse, making sure that they're separated. And then after the hearing is over, having the respondents wait until all the petitioners have made it to their vehicles.
Now, a 2009 study by the University of Kentucky shared by Zero V showed that emergency protective orders, while violated half the time, ended up reducing abuse in over 200 cages. Now, tomorrow, a vigil will be held outside the Justice Center at 6 p.m. for Erica Riley. It's held by one of the partner groups that work with Zero V out of Hardin County. I'm live in studio, Ian Hardwitt.
Ian, thank you very much. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, we do want you to know there are resources available. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7 by calling 800-799-7233. You can also speak to someone online by going to thehotline.org. New right here at 5 o'clock, the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office has found Louisville Metro police officers were justified in two 2023 shootings. The first happened on October 24th on South 26th Street, right near Garland. LMPD investigators say they were responding to a home invasion call when the suspect, Sylvester Price, pointed a gun at them while trying to run away. 4 officers fired their weapons. Price did survive that shooting, and he has been charged in the case. The other shooting was on December 14th. Officers responded to North 25th Street, where police say Kenneth Clark was holding 3 hostages. LMPD says Clark shot and killed one of the hostages before 2 officers shot him. LMPD is still reviewing if officers in both cases followed department policies and procedures. And LMPD and Metro Alcoholic and Beverage Control are implementing new measures to increase safety on Baxter Avenue in Highlands.
That announcement comes in response to a rise in violence seen around bars in that area. The 4 new measures include additional surveillance cameras to help deter criminal activity. They also plan to increase patrols for nuisance offenses, which includes carrying open alcohol outdoors where it's not permitted. LMPD and Metro ABC are both looking at additional community involvement.
And the original Highlands Neighborhood Association held a town hall last night. Dozens of people voicing concerns about this recent violence. That includes 2 people being killed, another hurt in 2 different shootings. 2 weekends ago. That all happened right near those late night bars. Earlier this year, a man was shot and killed inside Cafe 360. Board President Ralph Melbourne says over the last 4 years, more people have been heading into the area, but overall, police presence hasn't increased.
We live in a predominantly safe community with a corridor problem. I don't think that the corridor is being policed appropriately in terms of volume. I think the numbers are low based on the sheer amount of people coming in, mostly for the express purpose of consuming alcohol.
Most recently, local law enforcement proposed Cafe 360 forfeit its 2 a.m. liquor license and stop selling alcohol at midnight. The state's case is taking priority with an investigation. A conference hearing is set for that on September 18th.
Former Owensboro Public Schools Superintendent Matthew Constant has been federally indicted now on 9 counts related to the sexual exploitation of children. In June of last year, the Owensboro, Kentucky Board of Education voted unanimously to fire the superintendent after he was accused of being in a relationship with an adult-age student from another school district. He's facing multiple new charges, including online enticement of a minor, possessing child sexual abuse materials, and sexual exploitation of a minor. The FBI believes there are potentially more victims out there and asks anybody with information to either email them tips at fbi.gov.